Motto song. Let's raise for the motto song. Happy morning to my dear future chartered accountants. It's my pleasure to welcome you, dear students, for the first session of our Student Study Circle series, Get, Set, Go, an initiative of SICASA of Madurai branch of SIRC of ICI. Hearty welcome to our chief guest, CAPV Rajarajeshwaran sir, past chairman of Madurai branch and past chairman of SIRC of ICI. I also welcome all respected members. My warm welcome to today's speaker, CA Sowmya, who is a motivational speaker and a regular faculty for the orientation courses conducted by our branch. MBSARC is planning to conduct regular sessions in a blend of virtual and physical modes on all Saturday mornings to guide and equip students in becoming a professional. Next Saturday, 14th May, we are organizing a physical 2-hour session by CA MP Vijay Kumar sir from Chennai at the branch at 10 a.m. I request all the students to kindly register and participate. My favorite quote of Swami Vivekananda, awake, arise and stop not until you achieve your goal, must be the mantra of CA students. I wish each and every student enrolling for the course should turn out to be a chartered accountant. Here is an opportunity to bloom and equip yourself. Stay connected with the MBSARC's Get, Set, Go initiative. Welcome you all once again. Thank you. I now request Chief Guest CAPV Rajarajeshwaran sir to give a special address to students.
Beloved Chairperson of Madurai branch of the Southern India Regional Council of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Manimegalai Madam. Beloved Speaker of today's session, Sowmya Madam, who is a member from Madurai branch, and Jai Kritika Madam, Venkatesh, Mr. S.T. Venkatesh in absentia, and Chairman in absentia, and all the committee members, dear students. Pleasant good morning to every one of you present here. I am very much pleased to be one amongst you to inaugurate this session, motivation session, for the benefit of the members in Madurai, the students in Madurai, and other students from whichever place they are willing to join. First of all, I congratulate the committee members of Madurai branch, chaired by Manimegalai Madam and all the committee members, for creating this wonderful opportunity to learn about how to prepare for the examinations and make yourself ready in the test. As a chairman of the Southern India Regional Council, some few years back, I have seen out of 65, 67 branches in Southern India Regional Council, at least 50% of the branches are not that much active as was expected by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. But one of very few branches which was very much active along with other branches, active branches, are Madurai branch. So in that way, we are always keeping up in the front. It is only for the benefit of the members and benefit of the students. To the students, my request and also my guidance is that today's world is a dynamic world. Every day there is a change. Whether you take the tax laws or the other laws or the economy also, everything is being changed. We are not static. We have to change ourselves, not because that our country has to grow, but also because that we have to cope up with the changing economy of the world. What has been there in our country some 30 days back is not here today because of the Ukraine war. So like that, each and every day there is a change. Since our profession is very much related to the economy of the country, we have to understand the changes. We have to cope up with the changes. So keeping this in mind, our Madurai branch and the guidance of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India is organizing the programs both for members and for the students. So this is a special platform created for the benefit of the members. So my request is that the students have to make use of this opportunity, and you have to tell to your friends that all the students should participate, or at least the majority of the students who are in Madurai, they have to participate to reap up the benefits of the knowledge and also the experience of the speakers. Coming to Sowmya Madam, the today's speaker is our Madurai member. I have been very glad to see that she is a very, very dedicated member. I have seen her working in the election of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India as a master of ceremony and also as the speaker, questioning the members, getting the answers from them, then putting them to the members. So the style of presentation, I really appreciate. She is a very good motivator. She is having very good knowledge also. ஒரு சிலருக்கு வந்து நல்லா பேச தெரியும், சில அந்த பேசி முடிச்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் என்ன சப்ஜெக்ட் அப்படின்னு யோசனை பண்ணி பார்த்தா அந்த பட்டிமன்றம் மாதிரி நமக்கு என்னன்னு தெரியாது. ஆனா சௌமியா மேடம் அந்த மாதிரி நம்ம கிட்ட மதுரையில இருக்கிற ஸ்பீக்கர்ஸ் அந்த மாதிரி இல்லை. சப்ஜெக்ட் நாலேஜும் ரொம்ப நல்லா இருக்கும், பிரசன்டேஷனும் ரொம்ப நல்லா இருக்கும். ஸோ லாஸ்ட்லி டு கன்க்ளூட், ஐ புட் ஒன் மோர் ரிக்வெஸ்ட் டு த ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ். நம்ம வந்து பரீட்சைக்காக படிச்சோம் அப்படிங்கிறது மட்டுமே போதாது. எவ்வளவு தூரத்துக்கு ப்ரெசென்ட் பண்றோம் அப்படிங்கிறது ரொம்ப ரொம்ப முக்கியம். அதுக்காக எப்படி நம்மளை வந்து ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணிக்க போறோம் அப்படிங்கிறதும் முக்கியம். கம்யூனிகேஷன் இஸ் வெரி வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். ஐ ஹவ் சீன் இன் மெனி ஆஃப் தி பிளேசஸ். ஐ திங்க் சேர்மன் ரகு ஹேஸ் கம். ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் மேடம்?
இல்ல சார், ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்.
KPSN ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ். ஓகே,
ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்.
ஸோ communication is very, very important. I have seen from many of the students and also members the lack of communication. The two, after becoming the chartered accountant, if you are going to be in practice, if you think of the faceless assessment, you should give equal importance to communication, especially to knowledge, because we are general language for communication is English. So we have to be well versed in English also. So each and every speaker will be contributing their strength to the students. I request the students to make use of this opportunity. And once again, I congratulate all the committee members, chairman, and the speaker.
Thank you very much, P.V. Rajarajeshwaran sir, for your short and crisp opening remarks and special address. And now over to CS Sowmya. I don't want to take much of the session time. Go ahead.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thanks for the generous introduction, PVR sir. Time and again, our MBSARC with the illustrious past leaders like PVR sir and under the current leadership of Manimegalai ma'am, they've always shown keen interest for our students community. And I request all the students to make use of this virtual meetings. Do attend every meeting and get benefited out of it. So before I begin my presentation, let me congratulate every CA student for being courageous. Why do I say so? See, I'm reminded of Robert Frost lines. Two roads diverged in a wood. I took the one which is less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Yes, CA students are the one who are not bound by the society's views, who are not bound by the negative thoughts. They've already taken a right choice of choosing the chartered accountancy course and taking that brave step towards your life. So with that appreciation, let me share my mind map with you. Yeah, before I go into my formal presentation, may I know about you? Kindly type in the chat box at what level of the course you are in. I mean, whether in CPT, IPCC, or have you cleared the articleship or final? At what stage? Okay, intermediate, good. Intermediate, Ubendra, KPSN, Veeramut. Oh, sir. Sir, are you using this thing on
my office article that class.
Right, sir, okay. Then Gautam, intermediate, okay, intermediate, group 2, good. So everyone is in articleship, right? Okay, I'm delighted to have you all here. So most of you, I believe, are in articleship. Right, okay. When our MBSARC chairman contacted me for this series, Get, Set, Go, I was thinking, like, what should I talk to the students? What knowledge I should share with our beloved students so that they become a holistic professional in future. So what do I mean by holistic? Holistic is not just about cracking the exam and getting good grades, but after becoming a professional too, having the right kind of mindset, right kind of attitude, right kind of skill set, and the technical knowledge too. So everything put together makes you a holistic professional. So then I asked myself several questions. Then the answer that I got is also ask. So what is that ask? So A stands for attitude, S stands for skill, and K stands for knowledge. Now, tell me, how many of you like stories? How many of you love to hear stories? Type in the chat box if you love to hear stories. Yes or no? Okay, KPSN, Ajit, everyone has replied as yes. Okay, even I love to hear stories. Stories are a best medium by which a message can be remembered, right? So today I've brought in some stories to communicate some messages. That messages gives us the right kind of attitude we should adore at all times. So my first attitude, that has to be attitude or rule which has to be remembered is focus on your goals. Focus on your goals. Okay, we all know that. We all know that we have to focus on our goals. But how do we do that? We all know that is the first rule. But how do we do that? I have a beautiful story to share with you. So this story, I think most of you would have heard it. Let me repeat it once again. There was a competition among the frogs. So to climb to the top of the mountain. So all the frogs, they rushed. But as they were climbing up, many were not able to climb up to the top. But only one frog made it to the top. After his success, when he has been interviewed, he just expressed that he thought that everyone around him was encouraging, and he was deaf to the and they found out that that was a deaf frog. So what all people said to him, he just imagined that they were encouragements which has been given to him. So being deaf to the negative thoughts is the negative thoughts or others' opinion. It is the first way to focus on your goal. Now, how many of you here know this story already? Type yes in the chat box. You know this story? Yes. So Gayatri has typed yes. No. Okay. I've heard many people, many reputed personalities sharing this story, but how was it relevant to our CA? See, let's assume we are all climbing to the top of the mountain. We hear a lot of opinions from others. CA is a very tough course. Institute is determining the pass percentage. You can't reach to the top. It's very tough to clear. Even if you clear, you cannot get a good job. That course is better than this. You can see your friend has settled. You're struggling with that, with this course. I don't see any progress in you. These kind of thoughts, these kinds of others' opinions, maybe from our close ones and our near and dear friends, we hear all these comments. The first thing to keep in mind is the first rule to follow is always be a deaf frog. Always focus on the goal. How the deaf frog won the game? It was focusing on only on its goal. That is, for you, as a CA student, the goal is to clear the course. No other idea or no other's opinion should matter to you. So, okay, I've told you this. This is an easy way to remember, but I gave you one practical example too. So I really like this dialogue from Ilayya Thalapathy. What is that dialogue? Even in the Beast film, he was repeating this dialogue, right? How many of you watch movies? Type yes in the chat box if you watch movies. How many of you watch Beast? Good. Gautam has watched. KPSN, sorry, I don't know your name. No, Ashwin, I haven't watched it. Okay. I think Ashwin, probably because of the feedback, he didn't watch the film. Okay, but I really love this dialogue. That must be the first attitude a CA student who has stepped into the CA course has to possess. So let's move on to the second one. Sharpen your axe. So here is a lovely story. There were two woodcutters, right? Both of them were given the equal number of hours, 6 hours, but the productivity of each woodcutter was different. One was able to make more wood logs, whereas the other person was struggling. The reason is the other person was curious to know how the other person was achieving the target of cutting more wood logs. So he went to him and he dropped his ego and just asked for his idea. Can anyone tell me what was the answer of the other woodcutter? Type in the chat box. Anyone has any idea? Okay, if you don't know, just type no. If you're curious to know, he sharpened his axe during free time. Okay, Ashwin Kumar has given the right answer. He sharpened his axe. The answer to is Ashwin has told, but there was one famous person who has told, if I am given 6 hours to cut the tree, to break down a tree, I would spend the first 4 hours in sharpening the axe. Who's that? Can you make a guess? Lincoln, Gautam, good. Okay, so CA students are good in GK too, right? I'm so happy to know that. So it was Lincoln's words. Give me hours to chop down a tree. 6 hours. I will spend the first 4 hours sharpening the axe. Good. Okay, so how is it related to us? See, let's take a simple example in articleship itself. If I've been approached an incorporation of a private limited, and if I assign to one of my assistants, so fine, they just jump into filling up the spice form. And then they go into each attachment and they find, oh, this has to be made ready. And they call the client and they'll ask them to send those things. Again, they after they get the message, they just put it into attachment and then go on with the next one. And then after 2 or 3 points, they find there is another attachment that is needed. And then again, they make a call to the client and then ask for the details. So that the problem is that since they didn't plan the work well, their execution time takes a tremendous amount of efforts and energy. It consumes a tremendous amount of efforts and energy. So the more the hours you spend in planning, the less in execution. It applies both in your studies too. Say, for example, you have to clear an indirect taxes course. You must know which book to follow. And in the past few years, which chapters have been given more insistence, and what is the pattern by which the institute is setting the questions for the past 5 years, and then compiling them, setting the priority based on the last pattern, and then formulating a strategy and setting a deadline, and then start learning. That should be the strategy. So many of us just jump into, as soon as we get the book, we just start reading from page 1 without having a strategy or a plan or where to go, right? So the sharpening your axe will drastically bring down your time and energy. So that is sharpening your axe is your second attitude. And that is one of the most expected professional attitude too, planning. Right. So that takes us to the number 3. Work hard to work smart. Okay. So we all know what is hard work and what is smart work. So how many of you love hard work? Type hard. How many of you love smart work? Type smart in the chat box. Yeah. Okay. So hard. Most of you like smart work, and only Gautam has replied as hard work. Okay. I have a beautiful PPT for all of you. Let's see that PPT. Okay. Okay. Can you see the screen? Type yes or no. Can you see my screen? PPT screen? Yes. A few people, around 5 people carrying a cross, just like our Jesus Christ carries the cross. Can you see that? Okay. I'm assuming you can see that. Okay. Let me move on to the next slide. Give me a minute. I'm facing a difficulty in... Okay. Can you see the next slide? So now it was one person who has been concentrated, focused. Okay. He is also like other people. He is also carrying a cross. Now he says, now he feels the burden is too heavy. He wanted to cut it down a little. So he prays to the God, I am not able to carry it. Cut it to the little. And he makes an effort to make it short too. And see, look at here. He has chopped down a portion of it and he started carrying it. And later, and see, when others are carrying a big cross, he is the one who is carrying a cross with which is less heavy to him, right? Right. Then again, he prays, still I find it very harder. Please cut it down. He prays to the Almighty. And then it is again, the wood has been chopped down. Right. It makes an effort, chops it down, and he thanks the God and moves ahead. Yeah, give me a minute. So I've been facing a technical problem. Yeah. So now he's so happy. Our fellow is too happy. Now he has been given a challenge to handle now. And he just faces how to overcome it. Look at his friends. Look at them. With the cross they handle, they were able to cross this path. Look at him. He's just standing alone. Didn't know what to do next. With the thing, with a small thing which he carried, he's unable to cross over that path. Right? So what is the lesson we learned? What is the lesson we learned? Dear students, I want you to type out. I don't want to be a one-way speech. It has to be a two-way, interactive. What did you learn from this? No lessons? If you don't learn any, if you tell me that you haven't learned anything new, then I'm going to teach you one lesson here. Hard work is important. The same that type, ma'am, no pain, no gain. Okay. Let us start with it once again. Let's go through it once again. Okay. So both hard work and smart work. Okay. Everyone has given their own message. Look at this cross. There are two crosses. See, two wood logs crossed together. They were crossed at each other and they have become a cross, right? Let me assume that one cross is your articleship and one cross is your theory subjects, the subjects which you learn for getting through your exams. So every CA student, let's assume each person is a CA student and they are carrying a cross, which is for their one which is meant for the articleship and the other is meant for the theory subjects, which they have to master it to clear the exam, right? So as usual, every person carries a log. But at a point of time, what do? You pray to Almighty and you just ask for leave to your, seek for leave from your principal, right? I'm not able to handle, I have classes to attend, right? So can I just go a little early? Can I leave little early? That's what you request to your principal, right? Can I take an exam leave for 4 to 5 months? So that I will be able to clear the exam. So you're lessening the burden. Theory subjects too. What subject should I cut it short? So to clear the exam. I don't want to know the concept. I just want to know the essence of it. So you don't understand the concept. You just go through, you skip a lot of portions and move with the other one. Right? That's what happens, right? So, and then you carry a lesser one when compared to the others. So what happens? You carry it easily. Even sometimes you crack the exam. But the thing is, what happens at last? When you have to face a real life, your skills and which you should have acquired in your articleship isn't sufficient to cross the life hurdles. So people used to say work smart, don't work hard. But my thing is, my perspective is, once you have to work hard, to be smart, to do the smart work for the rest of your life. And CA course is also, once you do the hard work now, you will be able to do the smart work. You will be knowing how to do the smart work in the future. So sweat hard now and enjoy the benefits later. Right. Is it good, girls? Sorry. Is it good, students? Do you find it useful? Do you agree with my thought? Type in yes if you agree with it. Right. Lavanya and Ubendra has answered yes. Okay. So let me move on to the fourth one. So 3 things we have covered already. Focus on your goals, sharpen your axe, work hard to work smart. And we are going on to the fourth one. The fourth one is disassociate emotions from actions. What do you mean by that? See, as a professional, you are expected to be matured. You must handle a situation in a very matured way. So what does maturity means? It means you're able to disassociate your emotions from the actions. So in that sense, we are all emotional human beings. We all have that emotional outburst. So we are all flawed too. How can we expect every time to disassociate your emotions from actions? And tell me first, why is it important? Why is it important? Because one failure, first time I attempted IPCC, I failed. I am not good enough. I'm going to give up this. And you face some office politics. You find that this CA course itself, it's not, I cannot pursue it. I cannot tolerate all these atrocities. I'm going to quit. And what else happens? Your best friend's betrayal, or a loved one's grief, or the instant gratification. You may be presented with a better opportunity, seemingly, which may seemingly a good offer to you at that present moment. So you give importance to your emotions, and you forget that rule number 1. You have forgotten to focus on your goal, and you take a hasty decision, right? So say, I'm not going to give a story for this. There are many real life examples, right? So we all become emotional. We must know how to handle it. That's the natural way of responding to a situation is we will all be emotional, but we must know how to handle the emotions, and we must know to disassociate our emotions from our actions. A person can be a master of the first 3 attitudes, but if he or she fails in the 4th attitude, he will fail in all his life. Throughout his journey, he cannot succeed. Only an emotionally intelligent person can do it. Now, I've been telling its importance, how to do it. See, always you have to practice pause. You have to, emotions are temporary things. The good thing is emotions are temporary feelings. You must let them to pass, and then you have to take an important decision, right? So taking something, just reacting instantly will only make you an emotional person and not a matured person, right? Just you must learn to respond it. You must understand the situation, and you must know what to be done in that particular situation to handle it, and then go by it, not by the emotional instinct that you have. And always remember, as a CA student, I'm just pointing out only these things. All these things, it always helps. Even see, when I started my presentation, I just told you have to be, my presentation is all about making you a holistic professional. So all these attitudes you must carry to yourself even after becoming a CA. But the thing is, I'm giving you an example which is related to you at your present moment. Never make a permanent decision based on your temporary feelings. Whatever a person is out to say, just pause for a few seconds. Just ask yourself, am I reacting to it or am I responding to it? So whatever, so if you think you're reacting it, take pause. It could be for few moments or few days or few months, but always make wise decision. Don't let one incident, one failure, don't let one person to dictate your destiny. So this is all about attitudes. Why did I take attitude first? See, I'm reminded about Thiruvalluvar's words. Vellatthanaya manarneettam maandartham ullathanaya uyarvu. So attitude is the one which determines your altitude. So get your attitude corrected to fly for the rest of your life. Then moving on to the skills. Skills. Okay, our PVR sir pointed out, right? What I was supposed to say, he just gave you a glimpse of it. Communication skills are very important. Okay. So again, let me tell you, see, people, when you take up the course, people will be focusing on ASK, they will be focusing on knowledge. But my presentation is focused on making you a holistic professional. Like, why is it skills development is important? Skill development is always helps you in making your work, getting it done in an efficient way. And also, skill development is very important, and it has to be done in the process of doing the course itself. Why? You may crack the exam, right? At least you have 4 to 5 years period to learn, master the subject, prepare for the exam, and go for the attend it and crack. But when it comes to communication skills, just after clearing that exam, in 1 month, you'll be getting your interview calls, right? In that time, you cannot rush and go, and then at that time, they will say, education is a part. You must be good in communication skills too. You'll be having a shorter duration to prepare. So what I'm suggesting is, in the course of preparing the CA course, you have to focus on your communication skills. So what do you mean by communication? The ability to think, read, write, express, both verbally and orally and verbally. If you are able to communicate better, then it means you are good in communication. So some people used to say, ma'am, I can think, but I'm not able to express my thoughts. Then your communication is not complete. I can pen my thoughts, but I cannot speak. I cannot communicate to the other person. Then also your communication skill is still lagging. Work on it. If you feel like your language skill is not good up to the mark, take up a course, continue with it. Put efforts to get it in par with the acceptable one, socially acceptable one. Be good in public speaking skills, right? So public speaking is also help you to stand apart from the group and express your thoughts, ideas, and perspectives. And it will help you to get good professional assignments too. People who speak well, can communicate well, will attract better professional assignments, right? Then Excel. When it comes to computer, Excel is an essential skill. I know our institute is conducting a lot of things like that workshops and all. So you have to be a master of it, Excel. And also there are a lot many skills like data analytics and all. For us, as a student, if you know Excel very well, as of now, this is enough. Then PPT making and Photoshop. Although CA, why a CA should know this? Again, for communicating, you need a better way of doing it. So you must know the art of making a PPT and also a little bit of PPT too. Driving. So with the work from home era, why am I giving importance to driving? You can be less dependent on others, right? You can you must know both two-wheeler and four-wheeler so that you can drive. Okay, our chairman is a good example. She drives well. I really admire her driving skills. So as a student, start learning things like making the skills acquisition also a part of your learning curriculum. And then grooming. Grooming, the art of dressing. As a professional, you must dress well. So grooming, it gives you it makes you feel confident, and also people around us always love having confident people around them, right? So grooming, it was a technique, it's a skill, it's not a natural gift which is given by the God. If you take my old picture and compare it with mine, you will see you can see a sea change in my appearance. So really, what I wanted to say is, whatever I'm presenting today, I wanted it to be shared to me when I was in my early 20s. Somewhere no one told me. I had to experience it through my own ordeals and experiences. So I wish I knew it earlier. I had to go through certain things, and then I thought, only if I am going to groom well, if I'm going to better communicate well, I'll be able to better present myself as a professional. So these are the skills that you have to acquire. There are a lot many skills. I have just listed the rudimentary skills that are essential. Then moving on to knowledge. So I know since you have been a CA student till now, you might have heard nyans on this knowledge, and our virtual meetings in the future also. I know this on this portion only, the rest of the trainers would be spending their time on. So I'm not going depth into it, but let me share with you a few things which made a difference in my life. Okay, how it helped me to succeed. So let me share the secrets at last. The secret is always a secret. Let me share it at the last. So first thing is you have to read. That's not a secret. That has to be a daily routine. Read, understand, then again read, practice it 4 to 5 times, and then become a master of it. That's not a thing, but we all know that, but we hardly put it into practice. But that is the #1 rule of acquiring the knowledge. Now, see, I read, I understand, but what happens is I'm not able to recollect after a period of time. So for that, what is the solution? So mind map is one of the solution. So how I made the presentation today is through mind map. Whatever I wanted to present, I've listed here and made it a mind map. Let me share with you a presentation which I prepared for the college. That is from our CA textbook only, from intermediate textbook. This is about GST introduction. The whole chapter, which was about 70 to 80 pages, I just comprehended. So that this becomes a one-way reference to me. I don't borrow it from others. I do it on my own. I just read it, understand it. Whatever I understand, I just do it. So back then, when I was in college and all, I never knew this technique, that it was named as mind map, but I was doing that. But later, when I learned this mind map technique, I learned these things as these are the things which help me to clear the exam. So mind map always helps you to read, understand, and you'll be able to recollect it after a later point of time also, right? So mind map. Then, so again, I read, but I cannot understand it. So that is there lies the understanding gap. So how to overcome it? You have to apply the wisdom formula. What is the wisdom formula? It's 5W and 1H. Can anyone make a guess what is that 5W and 1H is all about? If you know the answer, kindly type in the chat box. No idea? Okay, that's... Wow, Sivagami has given the right answer. What, when, why, where, and how. That's good. So applying the wisdom formula. See, I start reading a new act, say a PF act. Okay, I start reading the labor codes and all. I find that I'm not able to grasp the content. I just start writing out this 5W and 1H. What, where, how. And I just try to seek the answer from it. Instantly that understanding gets better. And if I'm not able to understand that why part, I again search in some other books or seek for information or sources from my mentors or from others. So applying the wisdom formula, mind map, and read, practice, and master, they are the 3 main things to master the subject and know your learning style. Just go through your style. We are all a blend of visual, auditory, and kinesthetics, right? We are all a blend of these 3 styles. But see, if you're a visual learner, make so many charts, flow charts, process menus, and mind maps and learn. Auditory, formulate a group, build a team, discuss with them, record your own voice and hear it often. Kinesthetic, just work out problems. Then experience it, that you will gain only through articleship, right? So you experience it and learn it, right? So these are the ways of acquiring knowledge. So moving on to the last one, the secret part. What is the secret? See, CA subject is generally viewed as a voluminous one, right? Voluminous, right? So what is the secret? That is the how to handle that voluminous portion. And how to make it easy and simple. The easy way is break the subject into small portion. right? You need not see the whole mountain. You can see just the next step, which is ahead of you, and break the subject into small portions. And with the time management and planning, you can break it and you can make it a success. I hope in the future sessions, all how to break it, make into a small portion, how to master it, those sessions will be handled by future faculties. And the main secret is repetition. How often, see, one time we read, we just take up your exam, right? So the main problem with CA students is they don't read it continuously. They read it once and they take up the exam, they couldn't get through the exam. Say what happens in a school? What happens in a school? We write monthly, then we write quarterly exam, then we write the midterm exam, and then we go to half yearly. We revise it so many times, and then we take up the exam and we get all ranks, state ranks, district ranks and all, right? But what happens in CA curriculum? There are a lot of academies to teach us. The thing is, we understand, but we don't read it. We don't do that revision so many times. So we are not able to recollect it during the exam. So repetition, repeating the syllabus once again and again is the key. And here I would like to quote Bruce Lee's experience, wisdom words. I fear not the man who practiced 1,000 kicks once. I fear the man who practiced one kick 10,000 times. I still remember when I was in my PE2. Those days we had PE2. Now we have IPCC. My coach would, even though we have 12 chapters session, like 12 chapters in one subject, he would, after he finishes his first chapter, he would make me to revise it and he'll make me to take up the test. Only after I complete that first chapter, he will take me with the second one. After we complete the second, he'll make me to take up a test on first and second. And then after he goes on with the third chapter. So yeah, at that point of time, I was quite nervous. Will he complete the syllabus on time? Will I be able to crack the exam? But now I'm grateful to my coach for that is a success formula actually. I was able to master everything. So that is repetition is the key, right? Okay, so I've already taught you the success mantra, ASK, ask. Okay. So to mantras to work, you must follow some rituals, right? So anything, having the knowledge is not enough. Only if you put it into action, it will be beneficial. So what are the rituals to follow? See, first thing I would like to say is fix a reasonable time. The mostly people fail is not because they lack talent or knowledge or capacity, because they don't fix a reasonable target. They just fix 1 month time, they take up an exam. For November month exam, they'll start preparing from October 1st. You must always fix a reasonable time, like 6 months to 10 months is a reasonable time, if you ask me. And just continuously say, let's assume November 2022, you're going to take up the exam. From continuously, you have to chant, this is your mantra. I am going to clear the IPCC exam or the final exam in November 2022. Come what may, I'm going to succeed. That must be your beginning thought. That is, as soon as you wake up from your bed, that must be your first thought, and that must be your last thought. You don't know how the universe works for it. You will be internally motivated to take the steps. So that must be your thing. That must be the first positive affirmation that you must tell. And also you have a lot of affirmations to make. Just tell yourself, I study well, I study regularly, and I work both hard and smart to clear my exams. Just believe in yourself. That's the first step. And journal your progress. Journal it. Journal it. Every day, how much I've covered in direct taxes, how much have I covered in indirect taxes, how much did I cover in corporate law? Okay, journal it, evaluate. If you haven't done, if you have some work, if you were into articleship, you went to audit, you came home late, it's okay. At least, am I able to revise the mind map which I've done in the previous day? That's okay. That's a progress, right? And also, you must definitely take care of your health. Walking not only gives you a physical well-being, also it also maintains your mental well-being. I usually go by walk at 6 p.m. Not just because of physical need, but mentally I want to de-stress everything. I go for a jog and then come up, and then I just take up my professional assignments. So that's the way I motivate myself. Walking is actually a reward for me. Then meditate. Keep your mind calm. Never get distracted with external voices. Here, believe in yourself. Hear what you are, what your heart says. Pursue your heart says. You will be successful. And do not forget to reward yourself after every small win. So win your day. That's very important. Set target for a day and see to it you achieve that day's target. And as soon as you achieve something, just reward yourself. Right? To see, this is not the rituals which is only meant for CA students. It's meant for CA professionals too. So this is what I follow every time. So last time I just, after I completed my bank audit assignment, I went for this movie. So after I complete an incorporation, I reward myself with a good book, what I've been craving to read for many years or many times I've been. So I give myself the time to think. So that is the reward you have to give yourself. So it's good. It's good to entertain. You must have time for entertainment also. As a student, I just thought only CA student, I must study for 20 hours a day only. Hours never matter. But your focus is what is relevant, right? So that's it. My final call to action, what I would say to all my students is sweat hard in practice. Okay, learn. Put more efforts in practice. If you are more concentrated in process, nobody can deny your success. Nobody. Institute will come to your door to reward you. Remember it. So that you will bleed less in war. Right? Not war, in exams. You will answer everything. A success is not given. Success is earned. I hope this was helpful. So as I mentioned earlier, I wish all these things were told to me when I was a student like you. I always crave for a mentor. I still crave for a mentor to handhold me, to show me the right direction. But these are the things which I have personally endured from my own ordeals, from my experiences. If I've been successful in life, I might have followed some of them. If I have failed, I have failed in one aspect or the other. So I have comprehended my own experiences and I have put in my presentation. I wish you everyone, I wish each and every one of you to have a rewarding career in the future. Thanks for the opportunity, ma'am. Any doubts? You are free to type in the chat box.
If any of you are ready to communicate with ma'am, you can always unmute yourself and come out, please.
Okay. Here is a question, ma'am.
I would be happy if any one of you can summarize the takeaway. Anybody? This is what is lacking in us. Many of you have your mind voices. You wanted to tell out something. I'm sure you have got a lot of encouragement from this session. And still something is like blocking you in coming out with your opinion, right? Maybe you can type in the chat box also. No one. So the session was not good.
Type in. It's good if type in good. If you feel it has to be improved, type in
yes,
to be
yes,
improved.
Feedback is welcome. And Sowmya, your session was very fantastic and the mind map unimaginable, very great. And I can understand how much of time and effort you had put. And I think around 30 students have attended this and they are lucky today to get your session.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. We have some questions over here. So Ubendra has questioned, what is a reward I can offer to myself? Ubendra, what motivates one person may not be a motivational factor for the other person. For me, watching a movie or reading a book might be a motivation to me. You have to judge. You have to just go through You have to analyze yourself to list down what motivates me. You maybe just fix it as a short-term reward, long-term reward. Long-term is going to a picnic for 3 to 4 days is a long-term reward. So once I do my exam once I give my all and do my exam to the best, I'll reward myself with a Kodaikanal trip. Or, and also you can say like, after, if I complete the syllabus weekly, if I complete all the 7 days, if I'm able to accomplish my task, I will reward me with the dinner at a restaurant. Okay, so that depends, that varies from person to person. Fix it accordingly, according to your wish. Maybe you can play cricket. So targets differ. And then Surya has asked me, can you provide some more affirmative sentence, ma'am? Okay, I think there is Abdul Kalam's statement, right? I am good. God is with me. Today is going to be my day. I usually stick one thing like, I'm too lucky. I'm always blessed with opportunities. I meet right people at the right time, at the right place. So all these things helps us to be more positive. People used to ask, what is the benefit of being positive? I don't know. See, positivity helps. It not only helps in achieving results, it keeps your body and mind healthy. That's the first effect. Okay. And also you do not know, but because of the radiation, vibration you pass, universe, it actually rewards you more with more positivity. Okay. Just analyze yourself. And if at all that Abdul Kalam's quote would be good. Okay. Right.
Just shied away, students, just shied away with your negative thoughts or negative opinions you get from others. Just focus on what you want to be. That is the main thing. And you're here, like when we joined CA, we all know that it is a very difficult course, most difficult course. Knowing that it is difficult, we have joined in the course, and we cannot blame the course. I couldn't get through because it is difficult. No. That choice should not be there for you. You should become a chartered accountant. That should be your focus. That should be your determination. And you work towards your determination, and sure you will win. Am I right,
Lavanya has given one more thing, ma'am.
Yeah.
Can you please tell me briefly how to handle emotions? How handling emotion is, as I told you, take a break, analyze your emotions, feel it, go through it, and grow through it. That's the thing. And just think, a rational people, how will they respond? Without this experience or this emotion, how will they respond to that particular situation? Then disassociate your emotion, take that rational thing. It's easy said, I know that, but that comes out of practice. Please tell us the take-home advice. Take-home advice, that's what I listed in call to action. Sweat more in practice. The more you work, the more you're very closer to success. But know how to work, how to get it done. That's another technique, right? That's in some other session. That's not the main idea of this session. Thank you, students. I had an energetic session today. I was so happy to get your feedbacks through the chat boxes. That was a great session to me too.
Thank you very much, students. Thank you very much, Sowmya, for your wonderful session. And it was really awesome. Thank you, students, for your participation. We wish to have more and more interactive sessions. Please pass on the message to your friends and your office staff and make them also participate in the forthcoming sessions so that we will be able to get more and more valuable speakers for you. And next week, we are planning to have a session, not planning, it has already been organized, a physical session at the branch, and it is presented by CAMP Vijay Kumar. I think all of you will be knowing about CAMP Vijay Kumar. He's a passionate teacher. He has made thousands and thousands of, I think, lakhs of chartered accountants. So I wish you all don't miss the opportunity. Please kindly participate. Thank you very much. And the message will be communicated to you in your WhatsApp group or through your principles. Okay, make use of the same. Thank you very much. Once again, thank you, Sowmya.
Thank you, ma'am.